Hey dudes, Mr. Wick here. Bring you another ranking video. This time around it's for the Tremors franchise in this gorgeous steelbook. As you, all of you been, ones who follow me on Facebook, you know I watched the whole franchise yesterday and promised I'd do a video on it. So yeah, it was an interesting one. I had to take a break from after watching a couple of them, just to give my head a rest. But I got through the last one last night, late last night. I was going to do the video then, but I was like knackered, so I thought I'd just wait till today. So yeah, here we go. Let me know your rankings in the comments below or in another video. Be really cool to know your thoughts on this video, and hearing your thoughts on your choices as well. But nevertheless, I'll get 6 in total, so let's start with the worst. At number 6, it's got to be, for me, Tremors 5 Bloodlines. It tried to renovate itself again, sort of thing, in a bad way, because they tried to do something different, like fresh location, or the fresh, so even the fresh location or the faces made any difference. I mean, they tried to do something different, you know, take it away from perfection, you know, where it's based and other places. And they tried to try something different, and it didn't work, you know. They did say if you try too hard to make something different, you're going to start going away from what you initially planned, especially with the Tremors series. You know, it has its fans, you know, they're not the best films in the world and things like that, but it has its cult following, and this is not what we wanted, you know. They tried to, and the overwhelming CGI replacing, like, these, instead of using practical effects and puppetry, which they've done in the other films, didn't work. You know, we don't want CGI fucking worms. We want what we asked for, and why we like people like these films. You know, we're not all into CGI these days, and it's not needed. When you just need good practical effects and puppetry with films like these. And why they try to do all CGI, it just, you know, it was just too much of it. You know, a little tiny bit now and again, I don't mind using like the CGI, but when you overdo it and it's not needed, it just fucked up the film completely. And, you know, the Queen Graboid, or what you call them, the African arse blaster, can save it, no one can, sort of thing. So yeah, it was just, why would you just blow everything what Tremors films were about and just try something too different? I mean, you might be surprised with my later choice, because I was really surprised about me choosing this one later on. So yeah, at number 5, sorry, let me get back to it, is Back to Perfection. Yeah. This is more to do with sort of the over-the-top gun taking centre stage, sort of the gun that, you know, I mean, I'm British, so, you know, we always think of Americans to be gun-toting maniacs who just love guns and things like that. And it's films like this what give them that sort of stereotype, and it just overdoes it. It's more bombastic, you know. It's just to make matters, and it makes things worse. I mean, the co-stars in it, it was all gross paired with what's his name, Sean Christian. That wasn't a good connection. And it was OTT as well, just over the top, not needing. And this is more to do with the Jack, who the desert Sawyer. It was just like no. I mean, this one did introduce the infamous Arse Blaster version of the Graboids, which was a little bit more different. You know, you got to see that. But again, with number 5, they just overused it with the CGI and pants. So, yeah, this one didn't do anything good. I mean, we all know what the Arse Blasters do anyway, so I don't really need to go into that. Those who know the franchise anyway. For me, this is when it took a one turn to the past, as I call it, and that's Tremors 4. The legend begins. Like we always want to know how it all started, but if you want to do that, you're gonna have to do it well. And they just took a prequel idea and just tried to do something with it, and in the end it didn't work. It didn't work at all. And it was the Old West, and I fucking hate that. I mean, I know it's set in the desert and it's going to be in the Old West, but it would be nice if they showed it a little bit later after the Old West. It would be nice, sort of thing. But they seem to do that quite. It's either like do prequels there or prequels in space or sequels in space, you know. But surprising, I mean. So what else can I say about this one really? Nothing really much. It's just, I mean, you got the appearance of Billy Drago, so as the hired gunslinger, so that was pretty cool. Billy Drago's pretty of a cool character. He's one of these sort of cult sort of actors. So you know that was one good thing. Okay, number 3 is Tremors 6. I put this up a little bit up further because I actually like what they done with it myself. You know, they bought what was it called, a cold day in hell, sorry. And it's sort of where it lost its it lost its stride after like the third one, sort of thing. It sort of brought it back, and you know they tried to do, and like I say, this was placed, and then the world's this is actually based in Canada, so it's in that sort of another location. So what else? What's the word I'm looking for this one? It's I know. I mean, we got the return of James Kennedy, which was we say was a bit worried he would ruin Tremors 6 because, like I said, he's not the best. But when people sort of get used to certain actors, they wanna see them reprise their role. So again, it was quite good to see it. The screen, what I say, it was cleverly written. The CGI work in the film is also considerably better, and in the other CGI, but I still missed the practical effects of the side of the film. I wish they used more on that, and I thought they might as well. They used more of it, knowing what they want wrong with the previous films. But again, you know, I think it was time issues and money issues. You know, to do practical effects like that, it takes time. And back when the first one was made, you know, it was given a big budget and it was given time to make it because, you know, it had big stars, so they was willing to wait. With this one, it seemed to be they wanted to get something out quickly, and again, I think it's something to do with the owning the rights to the film. They need to get certain films out over a certain time, otherwise they lose the rights. and I think it's one of them sort of cases. I mean, it's a fun series, fun watch, and it is par the two I'm going to mention, the best of the sequels. I mean, like I say, I'm not into the CGI part, but it was a lot more bearable to look because it looked actually quite nice. Where in the previous ones where they've used CGI, it just looks fucking awful. So you can tell where the money was spent on this film. And it delivers what it promises. So it's just a fun ride and a fun sequel. You know, not the best out of the lot, but it's exceedingly a lot better than what they was pumping out earlier. Yeah, number 2 is going to be the second one, obviously. I was going to put this out number 3, but you know, I've really had to think about it. I mean, is it really better than number 2? I don't think so. But any stretch, I mean, the landing. I mean, again, when you had the original Tremors movie, it was a major casting call by the big thing. So trying to get the big stars to come back sometimes. So it was seriously, they were seriously not going to get him back after, like I said, what I mentioned with the first one. He did think it was so low, and you can understand his reason, because he was reasonably a massive big actor back then when the first one came out, and he was in big not big budget films, big Hollywood films by well-known directors, and he was one of them A-class sort of actors. So you can understand why he thought this was beneath him. But like I said, come on, who else better than Kevin Bacon to be in these films? But luckily for us, we got a good cast anyway. So again, they had to go somewhere else. And honestly, there's a lot I love about this film. You had good actors, you had the well-winged worms, as I call them. Again, you got the Michael Gross in the film turns up as Bert and starts doing what Bert does best, especially when you get to know him in the later films. So if I'm being distracted, got a crying kid in the garden and it keeps distracting me. My apologies. I can't really edit this film because it's through my phone. But nevertheless, that's number 2. It was a good sequel. It's one of the better. Like I said, it was the best sequel of the lot. And of course, number 1 is obviously going to be the first original Tremors, and that's with what we call the great Kevin Bacon. If you believe. So, everybody knows it. This is when it all started. It was fresh. It was new. We didn't normally, I mean, at first I wasn't too sure when I first saw these films back in the day when I was younger. I sort of films that I tried to avoid, and then it's one of them sort of films where my uncle sat down and I watched it with my uncle, and I really found it exciting and things like that. Because I did really put the film down at first because of Kevin Bacon, and I didn't want him to be. I didn't really like him as an actor because all the sort of Team Rat Pack films he was in. I was never really into. I mean, I was into some of them, like the likes of Weird Science and a couple of others. But mostly the ones he was in, like Footloose and things like that, I mean, I was never really a major fan of. I mean, nowadays, during the 90s, early 2000s, he has started taking more dramatic roles and more intense roles, as he's got older. So, he has changed, and that was the only reason I put off watching the first one, and I wish I did watch it back when it first came out, and I was so snobby about it. It is truly one of the. It's like I say, a B movie classic for Hollywood, if you like to call it. It was just a lot more fun. So yeah, that's my first one, and that's my best one of the lot, I feel. Number one is Tremors one. So yeah, let me know your thoughts on the franchise. Sorry about if I got distracted there. My apologies there. Let me know your rankings in the comments underneath, and I will catch you later. Later, dudes.